Hey there, beautiful souls. It's your girl, Allie. We are back at it again for another episode of Living Life Consciously. I have a very special guest lined up for you today, and I'm stoked to get started. So without further ado, Justin, say hey.
Hey, Cosmic Thrill Seekers. I'm Justin. This is Living Life Consciously, where we explore the extraordinary, ride the waves of inspiration, and embark on an adventure of limitless curiosity together.
Hi, I am Sarah, also known as Lighthouse Delphi.
We're honored to welcome Sarah, also known as, like she just said, Lighthouse Goddess RoseDelphi, a co-author in the powerful book Touched by the Light, published by Near Death Institute. There we go. I'm glad you have that. Very, very, very nice. After a life-changing near-death experience in 2017, Sarah's spiritual gifts were supercharged, and she returned with a sacred mission to help others heal through love, sound, and divine guidance. Sarah is a true multi-dimensional healer. She's an oracle, a sound alchemist, a water priestess, and a grid worker who channels messages from spirit, balances chakras, cleanses auras, and even helps heal past lives and ancestral trauma.
Wow.
She works a lot with tarot and oracle cards, crystals, and even light language to support emotional healing, inner child work, and twin flame journeys. She also receives divine downloads to activate ancient earth portals, traveling sacred sites across the globe through her companion YouTube channel, Lightwork Travels. This conversation is packed with wisdom, warmth, and wonder. Whether you're curious about NDEs, energy healing, or awakening your divine gifts, you won't want to miss today's conversation and the love that Sarah brings to the world.
My near-death experience, it has changed my life completely. Before my NDE, I was, very religious, which I still have. I still have my own religious beliefs.
Okay.
But I've opened up so much to a whole new world. I went through, it was basically a super dark night, right?
Okay.
To where I was awakened, and I would say my relationship with Source got so much more tight that it was like, I want to do what I'm supposed to do. Like, this is my second chance. Like, I know that sounds cliche, but it's my second chance to say, okay, God, how do you want to, use me as a vessel? I had downloads and listen to the spirit, but I would choose my way. I want to do things like my way. You know what I mean? I'm a Taurus sun. I want to do things my way. And it's like, I've learned to surrender.
Really different from your religious background though, right?
It is. But I still have my religious belief because I feel like, this is just my own opinion, but I feel like religion brings more of a structure, which is like a father. And then you have the mother, which is like spirituality, which is more, free. So I feel like people should have both. I feel like people that are in spirituality that hate on religion should just chill out. And people that are in religion that hate on spirituality should just chill out. Yeah. A lot of the spiritual community don't like certain beliefs I have, and a lot of doesn't like what I do, but I have to use first of all, what God is asking me to do and the gifts that he's given me. That when I talk about the NDE, right? Because I thought people were just interested in death, but what it is a lot of people have questions and are scared of it. And so I realized that, this is part of like when I'm a medium as well. So when I do that type of reading, that's like a grief transmutation. Somebody comes with you with grief. You have the ability to be able to channel messages from the divine, to be able to give, to transmute this grief. And it's almost the same thing when we're talking about death, right? I can tell you what I experienced, and now we can transmute through certain belief systems and fears that people have surrounding death. Thankful to be able to be that guiding light for people and, to meet awesome people like you guys and collaborate and just light it up together.
Literally, right?
Well, thank you for being that lighthouse.
Yeah. In a religious household, not like super strict or anything, but like there are rules behind religion. So like, that's how I was raised. And it's like, I'm totally different from how I was raised. Like, my family is always like, who the hell are you? And I'm like, hi, new girl up in the house, Cool that you were able to like find a way to respect both and operate in that gray area.
Yeah, it's definitely tough when it's family members like that, though, because
when they're like, you're weird now. And I'm like,
okay. And the thing is like, if you loved me, you love me at every level and every growth of who I am.
Absolutely.
And if not, then you have karmic behavior and you haven't accepted things about yourself to see me grow into new things. And that's been probably the message that has to get out, but people only see the old version of me. I'm getting the Holy Spirit's already telling me that's why Jesus had to leave town. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do miracles in his own town because people saw him as that you're that little boy. You know, and so a lot of the times they'll try to keep that narrative of like, you're just this or that. And we're so much more than that. We're multidimensional. That's why I love meeting Soul Family.
Together where we're at and respecting the journeys that we've had in the past and honoring the futures that we've yet to manifest.
Been through such hard things. And you bring in the light, but you have that Hayoka energy. So we're joking, bro. We're Hayokas. It's like literally a transmutation as we're talking.
Healing in real time, right?
Healing in real time.
Beautiful tattoo that I could see peeking out over here on your chest. So I know that after your NDE experience, Spirit is the one that named you Lighthouse Goddess RoseDelphi. Is that right? Like, how did that happen? And then, like, what does that name mean to you on a soul level?
It happened in layers. God likes to reveal more and more of who we are in layers. Partly probably because we wouldn't believe it. You know, we go through these we heal in layers, and then we receive gifts in layers too.
Yeah.
My name was received in layers as well. So at first I started out with, God said, I already love your name. Your name is Sarah. And God told me to look up the meaning of my name, which means princess. Okay. So God told me, you're royalty, you're a princess, and I want to give you a new name. And I was like, okay. And this is in my time with Spirit, you know, while I'm just like meditating and praying and stuff. And and I heard Mediterranean goddess.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay, yes, Spirit, I am a goddess. And I was like,
and you're Greek too, right? So that fits in, right?
And as I started, you know, opening my business and sharing my gifts with the oracle cards and giving readings and messages like that, God was showing me that I was going to heal people as I healed. So it was going to be like a simultaneous process. And how God showed me was, God's like, you're like a rose that's going to bloom in this process. And so at that point, I heard ascending rose goddess. So that's when I realized, okay. And then Spirit was showing me what Shekinah healing is and told me that I'm to bring Shekinah healing to the collective. And basically, that's that divine feminine, that the glory of God, the beauty of who the woman is, bringing it down to this reality. I was Mediterranean goddess for a few years. One night I was in deep meditation, and it didn't even start like, I just want to be clear, you know, when people pray or however people pray, however you meditate, that is sacred to you, whatever that looks like to you, you know?
Right.
That night, what it looked like to me, you know, I was dealing with some internal problems, and I wanted to minister to myself through my own gift of oracle readings. And I was at my desk and I was, you know, doing a reading on myself. And then I went into like trance. I literally sat there for probably like hours. It was all the way till the middle of the morning.
Wow.
And I was just like sitting there like this, almost like at my desk with my eyes closed, but I was like in trance. And what I was getting was about my ancestors and how what I'm doing is it has to do with their gifts that they had and the call that is on my life, and how it's deeper than I'm just a goddess, and how I'm an oracle. And then Source was showing me about the Pythias, and I had to look up certain things because I didn't know what these things were. Mm-hmm. I saw a vision in my mind's eye, this E.
Okay.
And know thyself, nothing to excess, surety brings ruin, eternal priestess, grace, glory, wisdom, and understanding. These are my crowns. So
Okay.
it was almost a spiritual coronation. I was getting new crowns, and the crowns were golden crowns that I was receiving. And God's like, this is grace, this is glory, this is wisdom, this is understanding. And it was so that it was almost like a remembrance too of a past life energy or ancestor. So anyways, I had to look up what the Pythias were. And the Pythias, they were the oracles of Delphi. Delphi is a town in Greece. It's just north of Athens.
Okay.
And that's where the oracles of Apollo were. And they were very sacred.
Okay.
And they were adorned. There was usually 3 of them at one time. And people would line up with gifts and everything. And like, they would only like, first of all, only if God wanted them to even see anybody would they see anybody. And they would only see people once a month. And then they would bathe in the sacred waters. And it was just such a, they were like goddesses, you know? And so Source showed me that was part of who I am and what I hold. And it was a very defining moment. And that's when Source said, you're the lighthouse. You're the lighthouse on the Mediterranean Sea. If you're the Mediterranean goddess, you're the actual safety house, shining the light for people to be able to navigate, for sailors to be able to navigate, for lost people to be able to navigate to safe waters, you know? And so that's when I revamped my business into Lighthouse Delphi. And it was such a profound process. But that's why it's important too to always allow growth, because I can't say, you know, what if that happens again and I'm, you know, now and to something, you know, another name or multi dimensions to it too, because there's many faces of myself, because
versions of maybe
versions or because like I, you know, my galactic, when I really tap into my galactic stuff, I call myself Commander Golden, you know, and it's a whole embodiment, you know. And so it's being okay with embodying. It's not when I say faces, it's not masks of not being authentic. It's being safe with being every single dimensional prism of yourself. So much more deep than people, you know, believe or what. There's been like a revelation, I guess, of other aspects of who I am, you know what I mean? But I think it comes with layers of healing.
It's cool that you're open to self-evolution though, because a lot of people are like closed off. They've boxed themselves in somewhere and they don't like to peek out, open to whatever new versions of you have yet to become.
What's one of your most favorite aspects about yourself?
Oh, what a cute question.
My personality, because I love being down to earth, because I want to be relatable to people. Like I want to be like your sister or something that you're like, oh, you know, so whenever I have a message that's channeled, that I want the people to receive it.
Do you have a favorite mantra or affirmation that you live by?
Yes.
What is it?
And it's actually on the back of all my hoodies.
What does it say? What does it say?
It says, you are more than enough.
Love that. I love that.
That's awesome.
We say that quite frequently because it seems like something so foreign. You know, we grow up in a society where you're taught that you're not enough. You're raised you are enough because it seems so foreign to well, the way I was raised or brought up. And also when you think about societal norms, you know, all people that sell something, whether it be makeup or soap or clothing or whatever, they make it seem like you're not whole without that thing. So like you're constantly being bombarded with, you're not enough until you have this thing. And then once you get this thing, you're going to be happy. And then once you get that happy, your life is going to be, you know, so it's like a whole farce. So I feel like if people can start with, I am enough.
Amen.
All that other shit can just fall away because it's
exactly.
It's consumerism. It's commercialism. It's profit making. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And even when it becomes between like spiritual brothers and sisters, if we don't deal with that wound, then it brings a competitive energy.
Yes.
And what that is a lack mentality. So you don't believe there's enough abundance and enough shine and enough glory for me and for you.
That's so true.
Because you don't feel enough. There's a purpose for all of us. And if we can really embrace who we are and embrace what divine has for us, then all of us can shine in our own lane. You know, but what happens is people don't think they're enough. Now they're going in your lane, and now there's traffic, people are, and it's just like, no, it's meant for a flow.